see your face. I wanna know your heart.
Hey my lovely YouTubers, welcome back to my YouTube channel with me, your girl, Morgan Tracy J. Coming today with another morning coffee video, guys, to teach you how to stop waiting and start living. But before we get into this video, boo, make sure you subscribe to the YouTube family. You also check me out over on the gram because I'm always sharing some great behind the scenes content. And before we get into this video, we need some coffee. Let's go make some coffee. Ladies, I got my coffee and we are ready to get into this week's morning coffee. All right, let's get it. So today, girl, I'm coming to you. I'm coming for the girl who's been in the waiting season for far too long. I'm coming for the girl who's been telling herself that she is not ready and she's waiting for God when really she's just waiting in her fears, okay? The reason I'm coming for you is because about a month ago, I was laying on my mama's couch. I went home for a little bit, and one morning at like 4 in the morning, the Lord began to minister to me on waiting. He began to tell me that you've been waiting for far too long and blaming it on me when really you're just waiting in your fears. You have all these goals before you, have all these new visions and ideas. You just wait for the perfect season. And so today I'm coming for you. I'm coming for the one who's been in the mindset of waiting and not in the mindset of doing. And the reason I'm coming for you because it tells us in Micah 7:7, as for me, I watch expectantly for the Lord. I will wait for the God of my salvation. And I want to tell you the big key here is I will wait for the God of my salvation. And as I began to go through the understanding of what the word wait means, because I know sometimes to me, wait can be stand still. Wait can be not right now. Wait can be on God's timing and you don't know when that is until you just have to stand still. When truly, when I began to reflect on this scripture and when I went deeper on the word wait, it actually means a continuous hope and expectancy. Your continuous striving, a continuous belief. And so it does not talk about standing still. It does not talk about waiting until you see this big sign in the sky that tells you to go right, then you go right. It doesn't talk about that. It talks about getting from a place where you're no longer in the waiting mindset, you're in the doing mindset. You're saying, okay, God, I'm going to continuously have hope and my expectancy is in you, but I'm going to continuously move forward because I want to tell you, waiting does not only stop the world, it just stops you. So there were seasons I would say I'm in a waiting season when really everything around me was still going. I was just standing still. There has been so many times I have said, I've got to wait on that blessing. I've got to wait to do that thing in my ministry. When the Lord has so many times shown me you're right where you need to be, continue to move forward. Have the continuous hope that I'm going to come through for you, but continue to put pressure on your prayers. Continue to put a demand on the things you've been praying for that you know is going to bless you and bless others. Continue to do that. So as I'm saying all this, I'm going to give you 3 ways on how to get out of the waiting mindset to the doing. And if you're a woman in the waiting mindset, this is what I want to tell you. This is how I knew at one time I was in the waiting mindset. It was because I looked up and it was another year and I was in the exact same place. I looked up and it was another year and I was still with the exact same soul tie. I looked up, it was another year and I was still in the exact same mentality of I'm always going to be here. God has forgotten about me. He does not love me and it's just me by myself out here. Right? I looked up and I was still in that same place. And that is how I knew I was in a waiting mindset, not a continuous hope like the word waiting really means, not a continuous striving for the greater good in God. I wasn't in that mindset, y'all. I was still in the same place. So if you have looked up and you have lived the same year twice, you have been in the same feelings over that same person again and again, I want to tell you, boo, it's time to get out of the waiting season and get into the living season. It is time to live. And I'm going to give you 3 ways on how to do that. The first thing, boo, is it comes with your mindset. The reason I say it comes with your mindset is because if you always think that it's never the season to do the thing that God is telling you to do, if you always believe it's when you have more money or after college or when you're married or when the kids are older or when you get more clarity and everything makes a little more sense, when you are in that type of mindset, what's going to happen is you're going to keep pushing it off, believing that a perfect season is going to come. Boo, there is never a perfect season to get started. There is never a perfect season to go after that thing in your heart. There is never going to be the perfect season, the perfect time. It is going to take faith regardless. And so that's why I say, are you waiting on God or are you waiting in your fears? You have to ask yourself, because it's all about your mindset. And I want to tell you, boo, you can do it now. Many times, and this is what God told me, you've got more than you think. You got more than you think. You just can't see the resources I truly have around you. So I want to tell you, you're viewing your circumstances off your limited view when God has a major, bigger view. He's got more resources. He's got who he knows is going to give you that call, who is going to lend you a helping hand. I want to tell you, God knows far more. And so it starts with your mindset. See, about just the other day, I was in my apartment and we're going through some things and I was looking at some finances and I was like, man, what am I going to do? And all I knew is I said, we gonna be all right. Like all I said, I was like, it's gonna be all right. Like I already have the mindset of prosperity in God, that God has got me, that he's blessing me. He's gonna keep everything flowing. And so I already knew when I first began to try to doubt it, I just knew I was gonna be all right. I just knew God was gonna come through. And it starts with a mindset, not in I'm gonna wait for God to come through. I'm gonna sit still and I'm not gonna touch anything. I'm gonna continuously strive in God and I'm gonna be all right. I'm gonna continuously move forward. I'm going to continuously have hope and expectancy and I'm going to be all right. And that's what I want to tell you. You're going to be all right. You got to get that mindset. I'm going to be all right. And I'm going to continuously go in the Lord. Okay. So that is tip number 1. It's all about your mindset, boo. There is no perfect season. It's actually right. The perfect season's right now. But we'll get into that. Tip number 2 is get clear on what you want to do. Get clear on your dreams. Get clear on what you're striving towards. And as I was getting this word, God was telling me, Morgan, you write these things to me all the time that you want to do. Why don't you do that? And I'm like, I don't have the help. I don't have the time. I'm overwhelmed. I've got a lot on my plate already. I tell God all these things. When I build a bigger team, when I do all these things. And it was like, why are you waiting? You are waiting when you truly don't know how much longer you have here, boo. You are waiting like you're going to be here for another 90 years. You might have 60. You might have 50. You might have 40. You might have 30. You might have 10, 20, 9 years to go. And so it's up to you to do what you've been called here to do, what you've been put here to do. And so I want to tell you, you got to get clear on what it is you want. But not only that, you got to be willing to do something and understand that that something can lead you to your God thing. There's many times I have pursued something that's truly led me to my God thing. There was times I created something that led me into my ministry. There were times I was striving towards something else when God rerouted me and gave me something even bigger and better. I want to tell you, you just got to get a clear focus on what it is you're going for. I remember I was telling God I wanted to do all these different things and he said, pick one and go, girl. Get clear and make it happen. Put the work in. Give it 6 months to a year. Watch it flourish. That is what the Lord told me. Don't give up. At 6 months mark, still don't give up. At 1 year, then if it's not working, then you can give up. And I want to tell you, I made it to that 1 year mark and things were flourishing so good. I was like, we keeping it going, Jesus. So I want to tell you, don't give up and get clear on what it is. So first starts with your mindset. Second, it starts with a clear focus on where you're headed. The third thing is you have to realize the perfect season is now. Because you have air in your lungs, because you can still function. Why are we waiting on this perfect season when right now, breathing and living, this is the perfect season for it to manifest. This is the perfect season to be blessed. This is the perfect season to come through the breakthrough. This right here is the perfect season to see the move of God on your life. This is the perfect season. And I know it's hard to understand that because you see all your flaws, all your insecurities, every area you are falling short right now. But I want to tell you, right now is the perfect season for your blessing. Right now is the perfect season for you to come through. Right now is the perfect season for your breakthrough. Right now is the perfect season to start that business. Right now is the perfect season to go hard for your dream. Right now is the perfect season to go back to school. Right now is the perfect season to do exactly what God has called you to do. And I want you to get that in your spirit because many times we have told ourselves it's not right now. It's not, this is not the right time. But I want to tell you, God says if you have breath in your lungs, then you are in the perfect season to do what he has put you here to do. You are in the perfect season to manifest the blessing of God on your life. You're in the perfect season to help out the person you've been called to help out. You're in the perfect season to build the thing you've been called to build. You're in the perfect season to tear down the soul ties and build something new. You're in the perfect season right now. So stop waiting until things get better. Stop waiting until you don't feel like that anymore. Stop waiting until anxiety is gone. Stop waiting, because right now is the perfect season. You can walk out of that place. I want to tell you, the way the Lord gave this to me at 4 a.m, you guys, I couldn't even go back to sleep. I was shaking because it was like, why have you been waiting and waiting? That the waiting season, God has me in the waiting season. God has not opened up that door yet. When the Lord said, daughter, this is the perfect season. It's the perfect season. Put your hand to it. It'll flourish. Put your hand to it. Just try a little bit. It will flourish. This is the perfect season to do what you've been called to do. And I want you to remember, daughters of God, when you decide to wait and not move, and when you decide to stand still and not move, you have to realize everything else is still moving. You are the only thing that stood still. So what you have to do is when you wait, you have a continuous hope in the Lord that he is going to do what he said he's going to do, but you continue to move forward. You continue to move and strive with the continuous hope that God is going to come through for you. But you don't stand still. You don't throw in the towel. You don't go lay down. You don't go get back in bed. You don't say it's not working, so I'm not going to do it. You don't do that. You keep going forward. And so I want to tell you, that is how you go from the waiting to the living. When you realize this is the perfect season. This is the perfect moment. This is the perfect hour for you to do what you've been called to do. And why it is the perfect moment, the perfect hour, and the perfect season is because, boo, you are still here. You are still here. And every day is a gift. And you are still breathing and living. And there's going to come a time when all of our time will be done. And so right now, as you still got breath in your lungs and you are still here, it's time to stop waiting and to start living. I hope that this video blessed you, boo. I hope it inspires you. And most of all, what I want you to do is, if this really encouraged you, share it with one of your girlfriends, and also click the link in the description box. I have a free resource on how to really help you glow up this summer. I love you guys, and I will see you in my next video. Bye, guys. Love you. That was all the Lord.